host anyone watching this video right now. Today I'm going to be going over my third independent inquiry for advanced biology. In my previous independent inquiry, I read an article about NASA preparing for future explorations on the moon, or space exploration in general. The article explained that astronauts are often tested in their ability to function in high-stress environments. NASA does these tests because they have to prepare astronauts for what life is like out in space. For example, in the article, the astronauts were placed into an undersea research station, which matched the environment of what it would be like in space. Within this station, NASA gave the astronauts difficult tasks to complete and recorded their ability to perform these tasks. NASA conducted this experiment to understand methods that they can use to help improve physical and mental performances in a high-stress environment. Personally, I really enjoyed this article. I thought it was interesting to think about how distractions can affect a person's ability to complete a task. With this in mind, I created my next independent inquiry. In this inquiry, I gave individuals word searches to complete. While some of the word searches were rather easy, others were definitely difficult. In the experiment, I had each participant complete the word searches in increasing difficulty. The goal was for them to complete the word searches as quickly as they could. The participants each recorded their start time and then recorded their end time for each word search. Also, the participants weren't given any rest between each word search, so they had to do them consecutively with no break. There were 3 versions of this word search. There was an easy difficulty, a mediocre difficulty, and then, of course, a difficult difficulty. The experiment was split into 2 parts. In the first portion of the experiment, the participants each did the word searches consecutively without any distraction. But in the second part, they had to complete the word searches as fast as they could while I blasted music through their ears. If I was to give my experiment a hypothesis, it would go as follows. If humans are given a task to complete in a non-stress environment and a high-stressful environment, then it will take longer for humans to complete a task in a high-stress environment because a distraction will not allow humans to give their full attention to the task at hand. I recorded each participant attempting to complete the word searches, as I would say it makes the video more interesting. But it also shows how much more attention the individual has to give when they try to focus on the word search with and without a distraction. Oh, and speaking of the distraction, I want to say what it was. So they were listening to an off-key version of the final countdown. Here's just a snippet of the song, just to show you just how much of a distraction and how annoying the song actually is. While they were completing the word searches, I would play the song while moving it to random points throughout it. I would also move the audio around their head so they never got used to the environment, therefore making it more stressful. I also want to say something else about the word searches themselves. In the easy difficulty, there were 10 words, and the puzzle wasn't very big, so that's why it would be considered the easy version. The mediocre difficulty, there were 11 words, so there were more words, and it was a bit bigger. It was like a standard word search. And then finally, the hardest difficulty had 12 words, and it was by far the largest of the 3 word searches. I also want to note that the word searches all had the same words between each of them, so the participants weren't getting distracted by thinking, "Oh, that's a new word." So they would know what the new words would be. It would just be that they would be in a different place throughout the word search, so they would have to just go look for it. But they already knew what the new words were going to be, unless an increase in difficulty because a new word would be added. All right, with that said, let's get into the clips. The first participant in this experiment was Wes Forley. When Wes was doing the word searches without the distraction, he didn't struggle to complete them. He completed them with ease, and as shown in the video, he doesn't lose concentration at all, and that causes him to complete the word searches much quicker than he did in the cases when he did have the distraction. As you can see in the video, he is he doesn't even have to give that much focus on the word searches because there's not much going on, so he's able to sit back and relax while he does them. However, when you look at the clips when he actually is having the distraction, you can see that he's laughing a bit more and there's something getting in his way. And what that leads to him doing is he actually moves closer to the screen as if he's trying to dial out the distraction getting in the way. The results from Wes's word searches were very interesting. Without a distraction and with a distraction, for the easy word search, it took him both 2 minutes to complete each. Additionally, for the mediocre difficulty word searches, it took him only 5 minutes to complete both of them. But when it came to the more difficult task of completing the most difficult word search of the three, it took him 7 minutes to complete it without a distraction, but it took him 10 minutes to complete it with a distraction. The next participant in this experiment was Rohan Bhardwaj. Similar to Wes, Rohan was much more relaxed when he was doing the word searches without a distraction. This allowed Rohan to complete the word searches without a distraction with ease. This was not the case when Rohan had to complete the word searches with a distraction. He had to come a lot closer to the computer screen with the word searches, and actually sometimes had to say the words out loud just to remember the task that he was trying to complete. Additionally, while I was playing the music, he would often tell me to stop or help him out while he was trying to complete the word searches, simply because it was too difficult to manage to do this task with this distraction in this scenario. Rohan's results showed similar trends to Wes's results. For example, the distraction in the easy word search didn't affect Rohan's ability to complete it, as he was able to complete the word search in the same amount of time with and without the distraction, which was the same for Wes. As the difficulty increased, though, things got more difficult for Rohan. In the mediocre difficulty word search, Rohan took 6 minutes to complete it. Without a distraction, it took him 8 minutes to complete it. Finally, in the hardest difficulty word search, Rohan took 9 minutes to complete it without a distraction and 14 minutes to complete it with it. Therefore, it took Rohan an extra 5 minutes to complete the word search just by adding a distraction. Now I want to go over a conclusion of my experiment. According to my results, my hypothesis was partly correct. I'll explain what I mean by this. For the easy word searches, a distraction didn't affect the participant's ability to complete the task. However, for the more difficult word searches, it took both participants longer to finish. It took Wes longer, and it took Rohan 5. Thus, my hypothesis was correct that distractions do affect an individual's ability to complete a task. According to my results, it seems that the difficulty of a task will change how much the distraction will affect a person. Thus, I could see me doing another independent inquiry that looks at this relationship. If I was to do this experiment again, I would want to get more people to participate in this activity to get more data, as I believe that having more people participate would lead to my results to be more precise and accurate.